Oh my goodness, it's a great question because you would probably get just a handful of people that would be on that list.
At 68, Vince Gill still carries himself like the humble, guitar-playing artist fans loved decades ago. But behind his smooth voice and numerous Grammy Awards is another side of Gill that few people see. He is a quiet critic, a strong competitor, and a man who has hidden his true feelings under years of country charm. Throughout his career, Gill has quietly disliked artists who focus on fame rather than craft, break tradition, or disrespect the country music genre he has dedicated his life to defending. In a recent interview, Vince Gill shares the names of 7 artists he has strong feelings about. You may think you know Vince Gill, but you will view his music and theirs differently after this. Let's begin at the start, before the fame and feuds. When we reach the last person on his list, you will rethink everything you thought you knew about country music royalty. The making of Vince Gill. Vince Gill grew up in Norman, Oklahoma. While it wasn't Nashville, it was close enough for him to dream about a music career. His home was filled with music and essential life lessons. His father was a federal judge and a part-time musician, strict but loving. From him, Vince learned discipline and how to play guitar. These lessons shaped his music and identity. Vince's journey to success was not easy. In his early years, he played in bluegrass bands. He worked small gigs, slept in vans, and took whatever pay he could find. He relied on his talent, hard work, and the support of fellow musicians who recognized his gift. Everything changed when Vince joined the country rock band Pure Prairie League. His voice caught people's attention, and he started to gain recognition. In the 80s and 90s, he became a well-known figure in the country music scene, winning 21 Grammy Awards and many CMAs. He earned respect across the industry and was seen as a songwriter. He focused on creating quality music and did not chase trends. His guitar playing was elegant and his lyrics were honest. However, with success came disappointment. Vince noticed that country music was changing. It became faster, flashier, and more commercial. He saw artists who gained fame based on their image rather than skill. He felt that genuine songwriting was giving way to formulaic hits. He watched as awards went to acts he believed hadn't earned their place in the industry. These artists relied on gimmicks and shock value instead of substance. Vince maintained his composure at award shows, even when he felt frustrated. He saw performers lip-syncing while real musicians were overlooked. He watched industry executives support artists who played politics instead of focusing on their craft. Most troubling for him was seeing the heart of country music, the truth, struggle, and humility replaced by filters and manufactured rebellion. He kept silent for years, but is now ready to speak up. Vince has never named names, but feels it's time to do so. Kris Kristofferson. Vince Gill has long been known for praising the legends of country music. However, he avoided mentioning Kris Kristofferson, a figure from a different world. Kristofferson was the outlaw poet, known for being raw and unpredictable. He would often crash parties and give messy interviews, but still earned respect. Vince, in contrast, was polished and precise in his music. He focused on technical skill, good lyrics, and vocal control. Although Vince never directly criticized Kristofferson, he seemed uncomfortable when his name came up in interviews, evident in the long pauses and hesitations. One story from a CMA rehearsal said that when Kristofferson was set to perform, Vince left early, reportedly saying he didn't want to see another train wreck on stage. That story circulated in Nashville, even if it wasn't confirmed. Vince felt frustrated with how people praised Kristofferson's chaotic style as authentic while ignoring other skilled performers. A close friend claimed that Vince once said, "It's not deep, it's just sloppy. We lowered the bar and called it genius." Vince didn't hate Kristofferson's success, but resented how it changed the definition of greatness in music. To Vince, true artistry meant mastering your craft, while he believed Kris had skipped the hard work and still found success. Over the years, their tension never went away. They never collaborated or honored each other. Even when Vince hosted events for other musicians from Kristofferson's time, Kris's name was often left out. Recently, Vince acknowledged Kristofferson, not with malice, but because the divide was impossible to ignore. Vince seemed to see Kristofferson as a symbol of chaos. But the next artist worried Vince even more, the moment country music lost its heart. Garth Brooks. It's surprising to think there might be tension between Vince Gill and Garth Brooks, two giants in country music. but their differences are hard to miss if you look closely. Vince is known for his craftsmanship and quiet poetry. He spends hours perfecting a solo and rewriting lyrics until they feel right. Garth, on the other hand, brings energy, flashy performances, and a significant presence. He turns country concerts into rock shows, which some, including Vince, feel undermines the genre. Their differences go beyond performances. They reflect different philosophies. Vince values subtlety, melody, and storytelling. Garth focuses on spectacle and big-scale shows. While Vince shares heartbreak through soft songs, Garth shouts it out in sold-out arenas. Vince sees himself as a guardian of country music's roots, while Garth is seen as a driver of its commercial success, whether that's good or bad. In interviews, Vince has expressed concern that country music has lost its storytelling aspect. He doesn't mention Garth directly, but fans understand the reference. When Garth began headlining large venues and winning many awards, many fans felt that country music was losing its heart. With his deep ballads and guitar skills, Vince seemed to be getting overlooked. People say Vince was polite in public, but was sad about the changes in the genre. He reportedly declined chances to present Garth with awards, not out of anger, but because he couldn't pretend to admire something he didn't. This wasn't just a clash of styles, it represented a clash of values. To Vince, country music should be about humility and storytelling. Despite his success, Garth symbolized a shift where those values seemed to fade away. Was Vince jealous, or was he simply sad watching the genre change? It could be both. Regardless, he never publicly celebrated Garth's achievements and stayed away from significant events. Next, a famous heartthrob's popularity changed country music for unexpected reasons. Billy Ray Cyrus. Achy Breaky Heart made Billy Ray Cyrus famous quickly. The song was catchy and became a hit before viral existed. It played a significant role in bringing country music into pop culture. However, not everyone liked it. Vince Gill, known for his complex music and deep songwriting, reportedly found the song disrespectful to true musicianship. In a CMA green room, Gill joked that Billy Ray's song set country music back 10 years. This remark spread among industry insiders and suggested that Gill viewed Billy Ray as threatening the genre's integrity. To Vince, country music should convey stories, pain, hope, and truth. But Billy Ray brought a simple hook, a dance craze, and heavy marketing, which drowned out everything else. Gill once said the song wasn't country, but karaoke with a mullet. The two never worked together or performed on the same stage, and if they crossed paths, their interactions were reportedly cold. While some artists tried to mix new ideas with respect for country music's roots, Billy Ray seemed to go in the opposite direction. He focused on flashy style and gimmicks. To Vince, this felt like a mockery of what country music is meant to be, genuine and rooted in real experiences. Gill didn't dislike Billy Ray personally, but he could not accept what Billy Ray represented, a trend of music prioritizing image over substance that changed Nashville in a way Gill had tried to resist. The next prominent artist who came along sold more albums than almost anyone in country music history, yet Gill couldn't stand her music. Shania Twain. Shania Twain was known as the queen of country pop. Her rise to fame was quick, groundbreaking, glamorous, and unstoppable. However, she represented a disruption for many traditionalists, including Vince Gill. Her polished production, catchy pop hooks, and broad appeal left little room for the raw, roots-based music Gill preferred. Many artists followed her lead, focusing on commercial success rather than traditional sound. Gill expressed concerns about this shift, stating, "We lost a generation of real country fans chasing radio hits." He also said, "Sometimes we forget our genre." Longtime fans recognized what he was implying. While most music legends eventually collaborated or performed together, Gill and Twain never did. They did not share the stage during her rise, at award shows, or even during tributes that would have brought them together. Their absence of interaction felt striking for two significant artists in the same genre. Some insiders suggested that Vince saw Shania's success as the moment Nashville began to prioritize trends over talent, changing the sound of country music. The next name to emerge in this context redefined bro country, leaving Vince shaking his head. Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean became popular with his baseball caps, loud guitars, and lyrics focused on trucks, whiskey, and parties rather than deeper emotions. His music was bold and he quickly gained many fans. However, not everyone in Nashville supported him. Vince Gill, on the other hand, has always valued songwriting and storytelling in country music. He openly criticized the trend of bro country, saying, "I think we've dumbed it down," in an interview with Rolling Stone. He believes there is room for fun in music, but he doesn't consider it actual country music just because a truck appears in a video. Gill felt strongly about this issue, viewing Aldean's rise as a step away from the core values of country music. He criticized the loud production, shallow lyrics, and lifestyle marketing over lived experience. Although Aldine and Gill have performed at major country festivals, they have never shared a stage. Reports suggest that Gill has avoided events where Aldine is the main act. This decision wasn't about pride, but their different views on music. Gill could not support what Aldine stood for. The divide between them was not just about music style, but also about their beliefs in the genre. One built his career on meaningful content, while the other focused on spectacle. The next artist might have been too loud for everyone if Aldine had been too noisy for Gill. Kanye West. This might sound unusual, but listen closely. Vince Gill has not directly named Kanye West, but he often talks about ego in modern music. Gill believes that many artists focus more on fame than on their craft and prefer flashy performances over meaningful songs. In a 2016 interview, he said, "I see young artists walk into a room and expect the world to bow. Back in my day, you earned respect by listening first." When asked if he was referring to anyone, he smiled and did not answer. This quote came out in the same month that Kanye claimed to be the most incredible artist of all time during a famous rant. The media had a field day with this. Fans speculated about who Gill meant, and many in the industry understood. For Gill, music is sacred and should be about humility, service, and sincerity. It is not about stealing the spotlight at award shows or demanding attention. Whether on purpose or not, Kanye represents everything Vince stands against. Chaos over control and self-importance over true talent. They have never worked together and don't need to. To Vince, this issue is about values, not music genres. Now you know about the 7 names Vince Gill cannot support publicly or privately. These names include famous artists from different backgrounds. These are not just simple disagreements. They mark deep divides in country music, times when Vince chose to remain silent rather than offer support, valuing dignity over popularity.